Breaking news. I repeat, breaking news. Jimmy Butler has officially been suspended by the Miami Heat for 7 games. Was it fair? Was it not fair? That's up to your judgment, but this is essentially what happened. The Miami Heat suspended Jimmy Butler for multiple instances of conduct detrimental to the team, particularly in the last several weeks. And they released a statement saying, through his actions, Jimmy Butler's actions, and his statements, he has shown that he no longer wants to be a part of the team. Jimmy Butler and his representatives have indicated that they wish to be traded. Therefore, we will listen to offers. This is actually quite funny and interesting that they're now listening to offers, because basically last week, Pat Riley indicated that, well, he didn't indicate, he flat out came out and said that they will not be trading Jimmy Butler. Now it seems like they have a change of heart due to some things that was said by Jimmy. And I'll play the statement here in a second, but the Heat essentially have made implications to people in Jimmy Butler's camp that, well, he wasn't playing his hardest. So they suspended him due to certain things that he said, which I'm about to play right now, and also basically due to them feeling that Jimmy Butler's not trying as hard as, well, he really should try. You guys let me know if you could hear this. Here we go.
Shoot the ball a lot, but we won't sit here and say that I don't play hard.
What will fix it? What do you want to see happen to fix it?
What do I want to see happen? I want to see me get my joy back from playing basketball. And wherever that may be, we'll find out here pretty soon. But I want to get my joy back. I'm happy here, off the court. But I want to be back to somewhat dominant. I want to hoop. And I want to help this team win. Right now, I'm not doing that.
Can you get your joy back here on the court?
Probably not.
Wow. So Jimmy Butler wants to get his joy back playing basketball, but he doesn't think he can get his joy back playing basketball in Miami. Well, basically with him saying that and him and his agent indicating that they would like to play elsewhere, the Miami Heat have basically taken a hint and they're ready to trade Jimmy Butler. We all know that Jimmy Butler wants to be anywhere but Miami right now, but the question is where? And I'll get to that here in a second. But as of right now, we know Jimmy Butler will be suspended 7 games. And what does that mean for Jimmy? Well, that means while he's on the sideline or at home or on Miami Beach, wherever Jimmy may be, maybe getting his hair done, he's going to miss $532,000 per game. That's a whopping $3.7 million in total. Yikes. Jimmy's not only going to miss playing time, but he's going to miss a couple paychecks, and that may hurt him just a little bit. But as for right now, Jimmy Butler's season has not been what we're accustomed to seeing from Jimmy Butler. All of his numbers are down, including his minutes. He's averaging 17 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists on the season. Over the last 10 years since Jimmy Butler first became an all-star, his numbers have been much better than that. So we're not really getting the typical Jimmy production that we're used to getting, which is probably frustrating for the Miami Heat in their front office, Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra specifically in particular. But throughout this season, Jimmy Butler has played 22 of the Miami Heat's 32 games. And with that being said, the Heat are 5-5 without Jimmy this season, and they're 12-10 with them. So they haven't really missed the beat without Jimmy Butler. But maybe if Jimmy Butler was playing better, they might actually be better. But as of right now, the Heat are 17-15, and they're the 6th seed in the East. And I mean, as we know, the Heat have been relatively competitive over the last 4 years. They've the last 5 years, they've went to 2 championships led by Jimmy Butler. And right now, they don't really seem like a championship caliber team. And so over the next 7 games that Jimmy Butler is going to miss, this is what the Heat schedule's looking like. Now, maybe they did this on purpose and only chose these 7 games because they're not that tough of 7 games, but also too, they do go on a West Coast road trip. So this is what their next 7 games looks like. They're at home against the Utah Jazz. Pretty easy game, right? It's the Jazz. Okay. Then they fly all the way across the country to California. They play in Sacramento against the Kings. They play in the Bay against the Warriors. They go to Utah. They play against the Jazz. Then they go up north, play against the Blazers in Portland. Then they go down south and they play against both LA teams, the Clippers and the Lakers. That's their next 7 games. It's not really too tough of a schedule. I mean, you got to play the Kings, but they're having a down year. You got to play the Warriors, but they've been on a bad skid as of lately. Then you got to play both LA teams. It's not too tough of 7 games. So maybe they'll be able to get by without Jimmy Butler. But the big question is, when are they going to make the trade for Jimmy Butler? And where are they going to make the trade to? Now, you would assume that it's going to be in the next 7 games, and that's why they suspended him 7 games. Obviously, Jimmy has indicated heavily that he's not happy in Miami, and he doesn't want to play for Miami. And Miami now, by suspending him, has indicated that they really don't want him around anyways. So kind of like, get the hell out of here until we trade you. And so with that being said, the big question that I need answered, and one of the big things that I'm wondering is, what is the Miami Heat interested in actually getting back in return for Jimmy? Like, do they want picks and younger players? Or do they want to star Jimmy with, well, another player that they can contend with? Obviously, we know Miami Heat culture is a thing. We know the Heat, especially Pat Riley, he wants to win now. We know that that the Heat aren't really a tanking organization or a tanking franchise. So they have Bam Adebayo. He's been an all-star. An Olympian as well. They have Tyler Hero, former 6th man of the year. He's playing at an all-star level right now, 25, 5-5 right now. Tyler Hero's playing the best that he's ever played, and he's looking the best he's ever looked. He looks like a potential number 1 option. Actually, he's been their number 1 option this year. So do you want to go and get somebody else to pair next to Bam and Tyler Hero and maybe see how far you can go in the playoffs? Who knows? Or do you just kind of want to get some younger picks, get some younger players, and now build with Tyler Hero and Jimmy Butler, or Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo? And with that being said, too, those two are younger players. So, I mean, you have a future that you can build with on top of Bam and on top of Tyler Hero. So we'll see what direction they go in, but I'm curious to see what they want to do. Now, let's get to Pat Riley. This is the juicy news with this whole thing. The beef is not necessarily the Heat's organization. The beef is Pat Riley and Jimmy Butler. You have 2 bulldogs, 2 stubborn guys, and 2 dudes who essentially stand on what they say and mean what they say. So Jimmy Butler said a while back that, well, he said since 2020, since he got with the Heat, that he's been urging Pat Riley to get him some help with the Heat. Now, obviously, in 2020, the Miami Heat went to the finals, but they didn't really have a finals roster like that. Jimmy Butler just kind of played out of his mind. Remember, at that time, Tyler Hero was just a rookie, so you couldn't really ask too much for Hero. And Bam Adebayo was only in his 3rd year, so he kind of overproduced, if you will. You didn't really expect Bam to be what he was, and you didn't know he was going to be this good, but you knew he was a good young player. They had Goran Dragic, and they had some other players. Remember, that's when Gabe Vincent, or no. It was in the next championship where Gabe Vincent had his coming out party. But you didn't really expect the Heat to be that good. They overachieved, and Jimmy Butler played out of his mind. And then obviously fast forward a couple years later, they go back to the championship again, and they play the Nuggets, and they lose again. In the first championship, they lost to the Lakers. Second one, they lost to the Nuggets. But once again, you didn't expect the Heat to go that far with a bunch of undrafted players, a young team, and Jimmy Butler. You didn't expect Jimmy, Bam, and Tyler Hero to carry that team to the finals. But they managed to do it. Nonetheless, Jimmy Butler has been frustrated with the help that the Miami Heat organization has put around him. And you know, Pat Riley, he doesn't really want to pay players. He wants to build with undrafted players. He wants to build in free agency, but not with the high level players. And he essentially wants players that are going to buy into his culture and his system. So I got to ask you guys, and this is a question that I need you guys to answer. Is Pat Riley stubborn, and is his method of building the teams wrong? Is he wrong for not putting adequate stars around Jimmy Butler? Is he wrong for trying to take lesser talent or lesser known players and build a roster with them and build a winning and championship culture with them? Now, keep in mind, they have gone to, what is it? 6 different championships in the last 10 years, 12 years since LeBron was there. So they have been competitive, but since LeBron left, they haven't necessarily brought in that high caliber free agent other than Jimmy. So you guys let me know how you're feeling about Pat Riley and what he's been willing to do. And is he killing the Heat culture? I know Paul Pierce just came out and made a statement that Pat Riley is the one that's driving all the stars out of town. He drove Shaq out. He drove LeBron out. He drove Dwayne Wade out. He's driving Jimmy Butler out right now. So you guys let me know how you're feeling about Pat Riley and what he's been doing. But now let's get to the ultimate question. Where will Jimmy Butler go? Now, these are the 4 teams that are atop the list to acquire Jimmy Butler. We've all heard about the Phoenix Suns. We've all heard about the Dallas Mavericks. We've all heard about the Houston Rockets. And then obviously the Golden State Warriors are at the top of Jimmy Butler's list, and he's made it known that he wants to play for a win now team. Jimmy Butler obviously doesn't want to go to a rebuilding situation like what he did in Minnesota a couple years back. He doesn't want to do that. And Jimmy Butler is a plug and play guy. He's a guy that can go just about anywhere, a winning situation, and impact that team in a positive way. We know Jimmy Butler's productive on defense. We all know he's a hard-nosed guy, and we all know he's a good offensive player when his head is right and when he actually wants to hoop. So where will Jimmy Butler not only produce the best, but where will he also fit in the best? You guys talk to me and let me know. Stephen A. Smith came out and he said, if you're the Phoenix Suns, you've got to do everything you can in your power to get your hands on Jimmy Butler. And I agree. I think that Jimmy would be amazing in Phoenix. I really do. But also, the one team that I think should really do everything in their power to get their hands on Jimmy Butler is the Golden State Warriors. If I'm them, I'll do everything that I can to lure Jimmy Butler all the way to Golden State. Why do I do that? Well, because you still have Steph Curry. Now, he might not be the same Steph Curry that he was back in 2018, 2017, 2015, unanimous MVP Steph Curry. No, he might not be that guy. But, I mean, as we seen the other night, he went 8 for 8 from 3. He still got that cannon in his right arm, okay? He still got the biggest cannon in the world. We've seen what he did in the Olympics. You put Jimmy next to him, you put a hard-nosed defensive guy, a guy that can play make, a guy that can still get you 20 points a night, and then you also put him next to Draymond Green, so you got Jimmy and Draymond on a defensive end. Hey, you got three legends, if you will. 3 Hall of Famers. You get to extend Steph Curry's longevity, you get to extend Draymond's longevity, and you get to extend Jimmy Butler's longevity. You put them all next to Steve Kerr in his system. I don't know what it may turn out to be, but I just would love to see it as a fan. And if I'm in the Golden State front office, I want to see it too. As a matter of fact, if I'm Steph Curry and Draymond Green, I'm going upstairs and I'm saying, yo, bring me Jimmy yesterday. Cheerio agrees too. Even though she probably wants him in New York, but that's a story for another day. But y'all, this is Ron. I'm breaking news again, and I will be back very soon to break some more news. I'm bringing y'all the hottest news every day of the week. Y'all stay on your toes, turn on your notifications, like the video, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the panel on Monday. Until then,